So I'm going to keep wearing my blankie.
Good morning, everybody. This is Bob Miller with another edition of the Practice Gratitude Success Show today, and I've got Len Mooney over here, and now Len is sitting there. I don't know if you can see him at all, but he's got a little blankie on because it's cold. It's cold out. It's cold out here this morning. I actually wore my wool cap, but I start off the show every morning. What I like to talk about is the people that I said that who I was grateful for. And so today I said the people that I was really grateful for today were people, the guests on the show. I had Clive Jeffrey on here yesterday, and Clive is going to graciously accepted to come on again next Monday as well. This next Monday he's going to talk more about the strategies that he's using to help him get more business through Facebook and things like that. And then of course I'm really grateful for today because I have Len and Jackson supposed to be coming on, but hopefully he will. And we're going to talk about alignment, connection, and community. Tomorrow, I got an amazing book I'm reading right now. It's from a fellow named Stan Holden, and he wrote the book "Giving Candy to Strangers." There's J-Man. Hey, Jackson.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, so good. Hey, you look very colorful today.
This isn't my normal garb, is it?
You got the Robert Hollis look today.
Yeah. Oh no! Well,
I've got his background, and you got his shirt.
Together we could do it. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning.
So I'm talking about my guest tomorrow. He wrote the book, and I'm gonna go get the book in just a second here. But he wrote the book called "Giving Candy to Strangers." Stan Holden, and he was on. I actually heard him on the Millionaire Roadshow with Dr. Doug. So I went and Doug said, you gotta get the book. So I bought it, and it's an amazing book about building relationships. It's for anybody that's in business, just about being like what we do, just try to be nice to people. So it's really cool. So then Thursday I've got the pastor Priscilla McMillan. J-Man comes on Friday, talks about his show that he's going to be having on Friday Night Live. And then next week I've got Clive Jeffrey, Mark Lalonde's coming in, and Susan Shearer Young, and Robert House Jr. Got an amazing lineup coming up next week. So this is really exciting. I'm so happy for everybody. And then just to top it off today, I just wanted to say I was grateful for Mary Espinoza, Lisa Iorio, and Bonnie Edelambo, those people that are always posting on my page. So I got my introductions out. So I got Len and I have Jackson. Thank you so much, guys. Today we're going to talk about alignment, connection, and community. So who wants to start off? J-Man, Len, who wants to start off today?
Does anyone else hear that? Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
Is it too much? Is it a lot of background?
No, it's just like a bird, like a woodpecker pecking on something.
Let me turn mine up when you guys speak. Maybe
it's coming from you, Bob, for sure.
Is it? Because I don't hear anything.
Well, and that's part of the problem. You can't hear anything. Well, you know what? I got to say, Lynn, you can go right ahead. But I think we should open with since it is Practice Gratitude Success. Maybe we should all say what we're grateful for. Everybody but Bob, because if he says what he's grateful for, we'll be here all till 10 o'clock, which is cool. But I want to say I'm really grateful. I just want to start off and say how grateful I am that Bob, that you kind of picked up the mantle and you've picked up this calling, because just like you said with your lineup and everything else, as we all kind of pick it up and move forward, like Lynn said today on Coffee with Lynn, help somebody, and I think this helps a lot of somebody's. It gives them a connection, a web, if you will, of places that they can come, get connected, and feel part, and then start doing their part. So I'm grateful for community. Lynn?
No, absolutely. I absolutely agree, Jackson. I couldn't say it better than you already have. And yeah, that was the focus of the Coffee with Len this morning, is the importance of connecting to people, helping people, and keeping that focus really in front of us. It's easy to get lost in this internet world, especially when we're sitting at home by ourselves, pounding away on our computer, and we're thinking, well, we need leads. And really leads are people. We need people. That's what we need. And we need to, if we can just sort of refocus that energy and remember that it's people that we're looking for, people that we want to help, people that we want to talk to, people that we want to communicate with. And I'm grateful for the beautiful day I have. give you a peek out the window here, there isn't a cloud in the sky this morning. There's the Pacific Ocean there, and yeah, we've had a couple of days of rain and wind, and it was pretty gnarly for a little while there.
Gnarly, dude.
Gnarly, but it's really nice to be back and have the nice weather. It's nice to wake up. Thank God. Beautiful day. We're breathing, buddy. We're breathing.
Amen. We're all breathing. And, yeah, like Doug's call, this fire call this morning, going on with what you were saying, Lynn, I love that because, you know, we forget that so many times. You know, just like you said, we're kind of isolated behind this box, and we can get into a place of overwhelm sometimes, or we can just feel like, you know, confused. How do I do this? How do I make these relationships? And really, we're all sitting in front of the most the easiest thing in the world. It's community. Relationships is about community, and you know, there's a lot of I talk about this all the time, Lynn. There's community everywhere, and there's communities. Some communities you have to pay to come to. And that's fine. You know, communities have to offer value. Certainly, you don't want to sit around and, I mean, maybe some people do and just play pinochle over online or something. But then there's a group that we're actually trying to reach out and affect people. So if we make these groups, if we make our own web and we all contribute to it and support one another, it lifts all ships. It lifts all tides. And then, you know, especially if your message is, you know, we talk about marketing, we talk about health, we talk about wealth building. All those are really good things. So I love it. That's why we're here.
Well, and I think it's important when we talk about wealth that we always try to remember that we want to use the word wealth in the all-encompassing sense. Wealth doesn't mean money. Money is one component of the wealth equation. And the honest to God's truth is that money is the least important component, because if you don't have your health, if you don't have your relationships, if you don't have your spiritual connection, if you don't have your connection with nature, all the money in the world isn't going to make you happy. It's not going to do you any good. The reality is if you have all of those other things, the money is probably the easiest thing to get once the other pieces are in place.
I like that.
Am I still woodpeckering?
Nope.
Not nearly.
Okay, a little bit.
No, just when you put the mic down, it made some shuffling noise.
Okay. All right. You know, I wanted to comment on what you said, Jackson, about Dr. Doug this morning. His show in the morning, the 10 minutes in the morning, is so empowering because it stretches your mind, and that's, you know, it's about our community that we have right now, and it's so important to tap in to get that kind of mind stretching stuff in the morning. And today he made it so simple. He just said today, he says, we have one thing. It's all we have to do is one thing, and that's just talk to people. And remove the word leads out of it, because like you said, Len, you know, leads are just people, and because I personally, I don't like that, because it always just sounds too markety. It's like leads, you know, like we're all trying to get somebody, you know, and we're not. Just all we do is talk to people and ask them questions. What's the one thing that you would like to do to change your life, and just add value to them. Don't try to sell them. So I'm just talk to people. And he said that when he discovered that, when he learned that lesson, that's what changed everything, and that's why now he's making $300,000 a month. So I think we should listen to that.
Yeah, well, no, that's a very powerful message and a very powerful question. What is the one thing you would like to change in your life? And listen.
Listen is right. Yeah, just find out about people. Just connect more. Talk to people. Ask questions. Ask empowering questions about them, not about, hey, I've got something, because it might not be for them. It's like if you're painting a house. Nobody wants the one color. Nobody wants just blue. You know, we might want red, white, little everything mixed in. So, what's the one thing we can do to help you? How can we help your life? And that's what I got from his call today. It's so empowering. Now, Len, let me ask you. Today, you have your lunch with Len today.
I do.
So, what time does that come on, and how can people find that and stuff?
Well, it comes on at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the only time zone I recognize because that's where I live. Um, and the links for Lunch with Len are basically all over the place, but I have to get the links up for the February series yet. I got to get them. So there is a group called Lunch with Len, and the link will be up in that group. It'll as soon as we hang up from this call, I'll get the links up for today. It's already scheduled, and I sent out an email. So the links are on my page, on my wall, in the Lunch with Len group. They're out there.
Okay, cool. That's all. Now you come up with a new term. You come up with a new acronym. Could you tell us what your new acronym that you came up with?
Well, we in our area, yeah, it's ILDT. ILDT. I added a D to the ILT, and the reason I did this is that I realized the concept of ILT leaves something out of the equation, and I really love it. And we've been talking about invest, learn, teach for a long time. But the fact is, and Napoleon Hill talks about two kinds of knowledge: practical knowledge and general knowledge and specialized knowledge. And general knowledge is what you get when you read a book and you learn something. Practical or specialized knowledge is what you get when you go put it into practice, when you learn how to do it. And I made the analogy in the video I did yesterday of if you were going to have heart surgery, would you like to have surgery from a surgeon who read a few textbooks and said, okay, I know how to do this, I read 6 books on the subject, or would you prefer to have one that had actually done a few surgeries before success?
Exactly.
So I think the thing we miss, I think a lot of people miss in this business is implementation. You learn something and you go do it. You go put it into practice. And what I've learned is, and I've heard this number before, I didn't invent the number, but it turns out in my life it's absolutely true. If you learn something, you got about 72 hours to actually implement or put it into practice. And if you don't, the concept is gone. You've forgotten you ever even do it. And people walk around with notebooks full of notes that they spent lots of good money for. They went to events. They took webinars. They took courses. They spent all this money, but they didn't do anything with it. So I put the do into the equation. Do stuff.
Love that. I love that. Yeah. That's great.
That's cool. That's cool. Of course, doing is teaching is doing, and I think to expand on that a little bit, if you don't mind, invest, learn, teach. I think people stumble and they think, well, I'll just teach because I want to skip that whole doing. So I think that's important that you put that there, Lynn, because so many people don't understand that the teaching part of the equation is when you're doing, because you're teaching by example. And there is no other. Well, there is another. There are those that invest, learn, and become teachers. Right. Which means that those teachers have never, ever done anything. Right. When you're out there trying to invest, learn, and become a teacher, I'm going to become Jackson, the super coach. What do you coach? Not much. So, I mean, that's the thing. We can't, it's kind of like a president, if you will, who just goes to school and gets out of, let's say, a Harvard education. That's pretty good, right? If you have a Harvard law degree, you would think that you'd pretty much know about it. But if they've never governed, if they've never legislated, if they've never done any of that, do we really want them at the helm of the most powerful force in the world, which is America? So I think a lot of people get out there and they get this pseudo-celebritism because of they're out there teaching. And it really shows the power of what I want to bring this back into is what Lynn had said about community. Because, and relationships. Because, guys, if you go out there and just be friends with people and make friends with people, that's one thing. I mean, don't you know they've got a deal, too? They're doing something online, too, in that same space. They want to talk to you about theirs as much as you want to. So what do? You build value in the communication of the community that you're in so that you stand for something. Now, in our community, we stand for living healthy and for eating organics because we know it's smart and we know it's good. But if you just get someone in your deal and then you slap them on auto ship and go, nah! Christi and I were talking about this. Listen, these people are supposed to be your friends. You're supposed to be looking out for them. If they got 3 nickels to roll together and you're trying to slam them into auto ship, you're going to see them tomorrow and the next day and the next day of that. Don't treat people like customers. Treat them like friends, and then together find out, like Bob was saying, what their needs are, and then have something that you can snap them into. And so that's my 2 cents on that, which I think, guys, are both great points you had.
I love that. The whole community and connection thing. I love that. And you spoke about alignment. You spoke about, and even though you didn't say that word right at that point, but it's being aligned with a purpose, and that's what we have right now. So I think everybody that's here right now on the side that I can see is pretty much aligned in the same way, and that's cool.
Well, yeah, it's like when you walk into the food court at the mall, right? You notice all those restaurants are right there in one area, right? So what does that do? It gives people some place to snap into. Like they know I'm hungry, and so there it is, and so it's already there. They don't have to leave the mall to go look for Burger King or something. I mean, the things are right there, and then the selections are there. So they're holding out. You want some Chinese? They've got that. You want some Japanese? They've got that. You want a Subway, corn dog, whatever it is. So as we put these communities up, people will align themselves with our communities as they see them. So they snap into them because why? Well, I'm hungry for that. I like what's going on in that community. I'm hungry for that. And oh, you've got that. Oh, I need that. I need to lose some weight. You've got I'm not healthy. I got high blood pressure. I need so why we hold up the connection and the community, the alignment comes from the relationship that comes in, and then they align themselves. If you want people in your group, in your community that's going to go forward and last a long time, which this business is about people business, right? Well, let these people align themselves with you. If you align them, they can unalign because you made it happen. It was artificial. If they align themselves to what you've already demonstrated in your community, boom, they're part of the family.
That's powerful. That's powerful right there. Show's over. That's it. We're good. Let's go home.
Off to lunch with Lynn.
You're preaching the fundamental premises of attraction marketing.
It is. It is.
Well, it is, Lynn. Yeah. But I think it's important sometimes that we break that down a little bit because we get so clinical in these trainings, and I don't think anybody. I don't think it's a secret. I think that training is very, very necessary. Obviously, I mean, you got to train for something that you're going to actually do. But then there's this premise that hey, you need to it's the yin and yang. Like you need to be honoring me for maybe a year, 2 years. I'd prefer if you just honor me for the rest of your life and send me an auto payment. But these are real people, and so there can be too much training overload, too much. If you're speaking, and I'm just going to say this because you invited me on the show, and if you don't invite me next week, Bob, it'll mean I get to sleep in, right, or do something else. So fire me. But listen, if you're 2 years into this deal, and you call yourself a marketer, and everything that you give out of value out of your mouth has a label for somebody else's success, how in the world are you going to align yourself with success? If I go, yeah, the other day I heard Brian Finale say, and then I heard Ray Higdon say, and then I heard this person say, and then it's like, why am I listening to you? How do I find these other people? Because they sound like they're smart, and all you are is a parrot. So there has to be that place where we become ourselves. There has to be that place where we align ourselves and we stand up for ourselves within ourselves. And no, I don't have to pay homage to somebody else. I pay homage in my heart, and that's how I do it. But then you've got to take that action and become. I'm urging people to become within their communities. Become you. Give your value, and quit having a a label on everything that you say. For crying out loud, be you. Don't you want people to go, you know what I heard Lynn say? You know what Bob said the other day? They do. And they do because you're doing. And so that doing part, Lynn, very important in my humble opinion. But also, it's important that you're not afraid to be you. You have value. You didn't get this far in life. You learned how to tie your shoes. You learned how to walk across the street. You learned how to hopefully brush your teeth and all these things. And now you're a person. You went to a job every day. You know what frustrations are. You know what to maybe not have the right amount of money or have things lined up. You have massive value. And don't let anybody ever tell you got to be a lackey. You are wonderful. You are awesome. Be you. That's mine. I'm done.
Love it, Jimmy, man. Love it.
One correction. One correction, though, Jackson. I don't know how to tie my shoes. That's why I wear sandals.
That's all right, though. You get around, brother. Gets around on water ski, airplane. It doesn't matter. We'll overlook that part.
Len doesn't need shoes.
No.
Where he goes.
Look at the success Fred Flintstone had, and he didn't even have it.
I think you're right, and I think you're right. But what I'm going to inject in there for the people in our audience who are in marketing or working to be in marketing is the importance. I'm going to come back to the implementation, to the do piece of the equation for just a second, and then I'll shut up. And that is that the way people build confidence to have the value, to see their own value, to step into their own value, is by implementing, is by doing, is by taking action, is by getting out there in the world and getting their hands dirty. That's the step that I think a lot of people miss.
And let me like what Jackson was saying, when you first, he said if somebody's 2 years into the deal, he didn't say like a new person. If you're a new person, now there's some marketing organizations out there that say, okay, people join and they don't know what to do, so they say, okay, so then leverage other people, leverage a Len Mooney, leverage a Jackson Kelly, and that's there's nothing wrong with that. Do that when you first start out, but come into your own power at some point. But when you first do it, yeah, you want to say, yeah, Ray Higgins said this, or Robert Hollis said, because you're not the experts yet. You're not there yet. You can find the answers. So there is that time where you have to cross over, and I think that's what Jackson was talking about.
No, I agree. But even when you become an expert, you still want to give credit where credit is due.
Oh, of course, and you're still going to keep learning.
Oh, absolutely. And in no way, I don't think anybody misunderstood that. But in no way am I saying not give credit where credit's due. I don't take a book and then come out and pretend I'm Augmendino. But and if I'm quoting chapter and verse, I usually give Jesus Christ props. But what I'm talking about is when you are just a puppet with that leader's arm puppeting you and using you. Don't think that some of them won't do that forever, because they will. And you have to be man or woman enough to come and be yourself. And yeah, I agree with everything both of you said, but my point is that there's a point where you have to stop that nonsense. Think of something else to say besides quoting everybody that you know. They would love you to sit out there. As a matter of fact, if you'll put on a Statue of Liberty suit and stand out in front of their office and say, they're so great, and if you'll do that for free for the rest of your life, they're going to let you. So you've got to grow up, get up, and when you do you. Boom.
And you know what? There's enough people out there for you to build, for every person to build their own community. Every person could stand on top of their own not little, it could be huge. It could be huge. Everybody can reach down and help somebody else up, and then when you do, then they can build if you help them build their community, That's what it's all about. That's what Dr. Doug, and I'm talking about another person, but that's what he was talking about today. Keep it simple and just talk to people and find out what value you can bring to their lives. How can they improve their lives? And then they do the same for somebody else. That's all it is. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple and show people how to make their life, how they can find their own destiny, their own dreams. That's what it is. That's what
Step into themselves is all I'm talking about a little bit. To be brave,
Exactly.
you know. And the nice thing is, and this comes back to community. When you find one that supports you and you're digging, like I dig this community because I get up in the morning and I know that I'm going to go to Doug's Set It On Fire call. It's going to get my head checked, and it's going to motivate me and all those stinking thinking like, gosh, I wish I'd have been here. I wish I'd have done this. And then I'm going to go on Bob's show, and I'm going to get blasted with gratitude and realize. And then I'm getting caffeined out with Lynn, and by that time it's lunch. I mean, and that's how I like to start my day. And if other people dig that and they jump in that community, it's already there for them to jump in, and then they can shine and be themselves because we'll all support them.
Right. That's cool. That's cool. It's really really cool too. I mean, as far as our community goes, we've got a webinar that comes on. It's at 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern time, and I think there's a simple domain. What is it? 6 Figures Live. What is it? What's that domain again right now that people can go to? What is that?
Oh, you caught me.
Somebody must know that. I posted it. Yes, I'll find it here in just a second. I think it's 6 Figures Live or something like that. But it's just tap it. If you just tap into it, you can find out what we're doing, and it's 80% of people that go there, 80% of people that watch this webinar actually join up. They want to become part of it. So that's what's so awesome about that.
Well, that's a powerful thing. We should talk about that. You could put that on your page or something like that, Bob, and they could find it. But yeah, I mean, there's so many communities, but like you said, we all have. There's enough for everybody, and there's only one Lynn. If I come out tomorrow with a video and a coffee in my hand and turn around and go, "What up?" People are gonna go, "What's this jackass doing?"
Nah, it's all right. It's all right, Jackson. Hey, Bob, as you know, I can't see the chat. We won't worry about the technical reasons, but I want to tell everybody I can't see the chat. I'm hoping.
Okay, they're saying bad things about you, Lynn.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe there's somebody there that might have said hi to me, and I didn't say hi back to them, so I want to know why.
Yeah, I can't see the chat either, so we're chatless. Over here.
It's 6 Figures Live, 6figureslive.com. So if anybody sees this on the replay, and if they go to 6figureslive.com, and then just get in touch with any one of us. It doesn't really matter who you get in touch with. Just connect with any one of us because we're all like in the same sort of thing. But before we go away, I want to talk about this book for a second. This is going to be our guest tomorrow, Stan Holden. He wrote this book called Giving Candy to Strangers. And I heard his book. I heard him, Dr. Doug Fireball's Millionaire Roadshow. Amazing book. So just check that out if you get a chance. He's going to be my guest tomorrow, the co-host tomorrow. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So does anybody else have anything that you want to? Okay, how do people get a hold of you, Len? LenMooney.com is the best way to get a hold of you.
LenMooney.com, some way. I'm all over Facebook. It's easy to find me. And I'm not the black musician in Chicago, so, I think you can tell the difference.
I seen that guy. I seen him.
You're not? I'm following the wrong guy?
No. There's more than one Len Mooney.
This guy can't slam dunk.
Oh. Well, Lynn will be slam dunking in no time again.
Jackson, how do we get a hold of you? I mean, if you don't know you, how do people find Jackson Kelly?
How do you find anybody? You get into the phone book and you find them.
So they're scrolling down.
Are you saying that I'm out of touch with the world today? Facebook, Jackson Kelly, actionjackson.com, but don't worry about that because that's in construction mode. So find Bob or find Lynn, and you'll find me.
I think this is the most laughing I've done on this show so far. It's always a lot of fun, but today was a lot of fun. So
see, I saved it for you, Bob. Thanks, you guys. Thanks everybody for being here.
Yeah, thank you. So later on, so lunch with Len, it's going to be 11:30 Pacific time. Go to his page, go to Len Mooney, look him up. He'll be able to get the link to you. I'm sure just post it on my wall as well, Len. And
yeah, I'll get the links up here. And, I just put up new links for February.
Okay. All righty. Okay, guys. This has been just a lot of fun. I loved it. Tomorrow, Stan Holden's going to be on the show, so just go out there and have yourself a great day. And I love you guys, man. Thank you so much for being part of our community. Our, line, we're together. So I love it. I'm so happy with all you guys. So thank you so much. Thank you all the guests coming here today. So it's been a great show. So we'll see you guys a little bit later on in the Lunch with Len show.
All right. Love you too, Bob.
Okay. See you guys. Bye bye.
You guys take care. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon. Go crush it today.